All right. All right, all right, all right. It is the 23rd of June. It's hot as balls here. Reno, Nevada. Hot as shit. Like for real. Very warm. There's a bunch of thunderclouds up in the sky right now. So I thought maybe I'd try to sneak in a car ride and get some screaming off my chest. Um, yeah, super hot. It's been hot for like the last week, like in the hundreds. Very, very warm. Um, but, um, you know, makes it hard to think in the heat. Swear to God, you get like exhausted just from going from one door to the next. I can't imagine living in fucking Arizona or like Texas or Mexico or somewhere where it's like really hot. But the truck has no AC, so you know, if you don't want to be drenched in your own filth, don't ride around with me, I guess, because you'll probably pee your pants in my truck just to cool yourself off a little bit. I I just picked up a couple of my first paychecks from my two new jobs, which is tight because I'm like totally out of debt. I borrowed some money from some people. That was so sweet of them to uh, to let me do that. It's like so shameful feeling asking people for help. And my roommate, he didn't even have to be asked either. He just offered it up because he knew I was fucked. He's tight. I had a rough start this morning where I was just running late for work and then my battery was dead in the truck and I didn't think I was going to be able to get someone to help me jump it later in the afternoon, but sure enough, good old Jordan came through. He's tight. He's super tight. So I get my couple paychecks today though, and well, this wasn't today. This was I'm lying right now. This was uh this was like 3 days ago. And I go to the bank and I fucking hate my bank. And I know that's like the most cliche shit of all time. But my bank is like, it's not even a bad bank. They just don't have their shit together. And it's annoying. Like, I don't know, the ATM never works. Sometimes they can't do cash because they like lock themselves out of the safe. It's just fucking annoying. It's not even like a big deal. It's not like they're a sketchy bank. Just shit never works when I go there. And I go to the ATM, and I'd say like 6 out of 10 times, 7 out of 10 times, I go to this bank. The only ATM they have does not fucking work. And it's really inconvenient. because it's not very close to my house either. It's kind of like a bit of a scoot and a jaunder out of the perimeter. And so I get there, the ATM doesn't work again, and I decide to go into the bank and I tell them, or I don't tell them anything. I ask the lady if I could deposit the check with her. And she was like, "Oh yeah, you can use the ATM if you ever want to." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I did just try that, and it didn't work." And she was like, "Yeah, that ATM's not the best." I was like, "It's really bad, actually. Now that we're talking about it, it's caused me a couple of stressful drives, hot, moneyless drives." And she's like, "Yeah, we're waiting for the next financial quarter to hit so that we can buy a new one." And at this point, I'm like, "Wait a minute. Did this just go from me not being able to use the ATM and you empathizing with me to you telling me that the bank that I am currently at this very moment depositing this check at does not have enough money to afford the equipment that a bank usually has?" And I didn't say all that to her. She's just a bank teller. Like, okay, not gonna run her through all my bullshit, but I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, like the bank not being able to afford an ATM. It's fucking crazy. And then also, it's like, I don't know, maybe you're supposed to do it on your phone. Everybody does it on their phone now. Um, I just like getting cash out while I deposit things too, because I like having cash on me, but I don't know. I guess it's not that big of a deal. I thought it was funny when she said it though. The way I heard it was just the bank can't afford an ATM. Uh, but I mean, I don't know. It's not like a rich person's bank anyways. You know, they don't have like snacks and candy and seats and shit like that. It's just like a credit union. Like those rich banks, those are pretty nice actually. It's comfier than a goddamn, uh, like car dealership or a hotel sometimes. They got everything you want there. A little wet nap for your hands after you've been fingering all their nuts and, salty snacks. Sometimes they're nice, but I don't know. You know any ugly rich people? That there's a mind fuck. Because it's like, what's the point? How are you going to be rich and ugly? Like, I don't know. It just crosses some weird streams in the brain, in my opinion. Like that haircut. All right. Like, I don't want to go into a whole spiel about the Karen culture thing and like Karen's being a nightmare for people or this or that. But I will say that that haircut that is associated with that name is so fucking ugly. Like, it's really bad. And it was really bad when, like, the emo photographer kids all rocked that haircut back when My Chemical Romance ruled the world. Like, it wasn't sexy then either. It wasn't sexy on fucking chubby dudes in tight pants, and it's not sexy on fucking ill-tempered mothers or psycho fucking custy servy shopper people. So that is one good thing I think came out of that whole call out of Karens around the world, you know. I am glad that that haircut is like a faux pas finally, because good God, it's just not sexy. That's the best way to put it. It's a very unsexy haircut. You look like a triceratops. And if you're like rich and you have that haircut, yeah, what the fuck? What the absolute fuck? Man, I had a really good day at work yesterday. Or actually, it wasn't, I didn't even have work yesterday. I just went in to go pick up my tips from the night before, and the owner asked if I had a couple minutes to talk about maybe doing some like landscaping and plant work on the side, because the place I work at has just like 5 or 6 acres of like super beautiful like park ground, basically. Like, it looks like a park. It's super pretty and it's a beautiful garden. Um, and I thought it was just gonna kind of be a polite, like, oh yeah, you wanna cut the plants and fucking plant the plants and do this and that with the plants. And she actually like sat me down and asked me a bunch of questions just about like where I come from and what my family was like, and like what my financial situation was, and like what my goals were for the future, like, you know, where you see yourself in 10 years and in like 40 years and shit like that. And it sounds dumb, but like I that really took me by surprise. Like, this job has been nothing but nice to me since I started, and I don't trust people at all, so it's not really easy for me to just kind of like jump on board with them and like, I don't know, engage the way they want me to, I think. And it was just crazy to have the owner like pull me aside and be like, "Hey, I don't know. I like some of the best shit she said to me was just like, I'm gonna get you these books. I know it sounds stupid as fuck, but like, you gotta read these books." And like, I didn't go to high school, or she was like, I didn't finish high school, and I'm doing fucking fine. And I want to see all my people do fine. I want you to be happy that you work here. And that was really welcome from like on my end, even though I still am a little untrusting of everyone. I just the I don't know. No one's ever done that. I've like literally never had that conversation with anyone before, just about like where I see myself in the future, and the the way to get there, and how to start like a feasible plan on how to achieve that in time and stuff. You know, it's like, it just really felt like a conversation someone in my family should have had with me when I was like, I don't know, 18 or something, 17, 18, 20. Um, and my family's not great. Like, I don't know my father. My mom bust her ass my whole childhood just to make sure me and my brother were okay. And, I can't really ask for much more, and I turned out fine. But at the same time, there's a lot of little things I missed out on that are just like perplexing to me. Like even just my job, watching families all come together for these weddings and they all actually like each other and have stories already and you can tell they hang out all the time. Like that's so weird to me. Very foreign. Um, but yeah, we had a really good talk and it was like all about shit that is like the stuff you should have learned in school. And maybe they do teach this in school, but they didn't when I went to school. Like just where you're doing your taxes and how you do it, what bank you use, and how you use the bank accounts that you have. Um, how the fucking mail works. I mean, we didn't have a conversation about how the mail works, but I just think that's something they don't really teach you in school. Um, fucking insurance, like if I wanted to have kids or a family and shit like that, all kinds of shit. Um, and that was really special. I don't know. Shout out to my boss there because that was super fucking cool for me. And I was like almost in tears just because I don't know. It just seemed like when I get really mopey and depressed and shit, and I sit there and think like nothing ever happens for me. Like no one ever checks in on me or anything. Like my family doesn't check in on me at all. Maybe my mom will every once in a while, but usually if I'm leaving them alone and not asking for anything, it's like nobody checks in on me. And I've grown kind of resentful about that to where it's just like, well, I'm just waiting one day. It's never going to happen, but somebody should be totally interested in all of this. And like, which is stupid as hell. Oh my God, little kid running across the street. That was super bad. Ooh. She's in trouble. She's in big trouble. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It felt like I got that conversation. I got that thing, that motivation, just somebody being like, hey, I see you and you could be even more kick-ass, like with respect, but you could be super kick-ass. And, I don't know, that fucking, that made me feel so good, man. I've been feeling pretty down lately and I don't mean to be like a total bummer on this recording, but that's kind of like some of the purpose of why I wanted to do these was just get some shit off my chest that I feel like I just want to filter through instead of just be processing in silence all the time. And, at nighttime, it takes me forever to go to sleep because you got to think about everything before you go to sleep. You just go fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but yeah, I really appreciated that. And that was super cool. I did cut the shit out of my finger the other night at that job. Sliced a big ass chunk right out of my thumb, like all the way into the muscle. And it was on a mandolin too, so it wasn't like a cut, it was like a slice. Almost like if you ran your hand through like a deli slicer or something, it was fucked up. And, oh God, it was fucked up. It was bleeding like crazy. Um, And now I can't fucking do anything with my right. It's on my right thumb too, so it's like everything I try to do, I got to do with my left hand or I'll like monkey fist it kind of with just my fingers and shit. It sucks. It's been really inconvenient. I had to wipe my ass with my left hand, which I didn't think would be a big deal, and it was a lot harder and stranger than I thought it was going to be. And honestly, it made me feel a little undignified, and made me grateful for toilet paper. And I like nice toilet paper too. I think it's totally worth it. But yeah, that was a strange one. Did not feel super confident after wiping my ass with my unfamiliar hand, which I guess used to be the way back in the day. Was you had like a clean hand and a dirty hand because everybody was giving each other the plague and shit like that. But I don't know. I wasn't raised that way, so it was all weird for me. Uh, I wouldn't do it again, except for I have to probably for like 2 more days. What a nightmare. I don't recommend it, I guess is what I'm saying. But maybe you should practice, you know, just like every third time go switch on the toilet, just so that if it ever does happen to you, it's not so as shocking as it was for me. Man, like I've been putting on like heat rash cream every once in a while because it's like I'll get so hot after working 2 shifts and it's just like 100 fucking million degrees. And I've just kind of been sweating in my shirts all day and shit, so I've been getting heat rash on my shoulders and shit, and I don't know, feels so lame, like putting on cream after I get out of the shower and shit. I don't know, it feels so goofy. I feel like it should feel the opposite too, like yeah, man, you're a real adult now. You're putting on rash cream after a shower instead of feeling like ugh, fucking grosso. Because there are times too when you should be embarrassed of what you're doing. You're like, ah, man, I really fucked up, or like, maybe you're putting on a different type of cream because you caught some strange or something. I don't fucking know. I'm not judging you either. I'm just saying there are times when you should be ashamed to put on cream, and times when you shouldn't. And I think just having a heat rash because it's fucking hot as fuck, and you got all sweaty, I don't necessarily think that you need to be like ashamed of that. And I've been embarrassed before. Who hasn't? Like, I've done a bunch of embarrassing shit, shameful, embarrassing things. Like, I fucking when I was in like 6th grade, I want to say, maybe like 5th grade. Uh, I snuck into my buddy's dad's garage. Like, I had already hung out with my buddy, and then like I came back down the street after leaving for like 10 minutes and I went into their garage and he had a bunch of Playboys in there. And yeah, I snatched up 2 of those real quick, hid them in my shirt and went home, and I went straight to the bathroom and locked the door and jerked off to these pictures like as many times as I could as conceivable, probably twice, I would guess. But I remember my brother like needed to use the bathroom and was knocking on it a bunch, and I was just like started the shower like I was about to take a shower, and then he really lost his mind. I was like, just let me use the bathroom while you're taking a shower. I just gotta go real quick. And that was a no-go for me because I had the porno mags on the ground, and I didn't really have any way to cover him up, and then I definitely didn't have any way to hide him from him if he started rifling through shit while I was in the shower. So it was a no-go. I think he ended up using my mom's bathroom, or going outside or something. But then I got so paranoid with these magazines that I snuck them back into my buddy's dad's garage. And yeah, I probably only had those things for like 30 minutes tops. And it was a stressful 30 minutes, man. It was a cool 30 minutes too, you know? Like, this is way before the internet was available to me, so like, just having some titties that I could just stare at in peace and private, yeah, it was great. That was next level. Like, I had seen the magazines before, you know, but it was always like when we were all hanging out as buds and shit and like showing each other. I don't know if other dudes did that, but we definitely used to all like look at porn and shit when we found some and like we'd hang out and fucking check it out. But it's like you can't really, you know, you can't really watch the porn if you know what I'm saying and get into the whole experience if you're fucking uh if your buddies are right next to you and shit. Damn, it's raining hella hard right now. Uh yeah, you shouldn't jerk off with your buds in the room, you know. It's bad etiquette. And I had a friend that would pull his dick out while watching, you know, it was weird. It got weird. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it wasn't weird. But yeah, that dude, man. That dude whose dad's porn I stole, we fucking we had a falling out, son. We had the falling out. It's like this. It's one of my favorite stories. I actually probably shouldn't even cover it in its totality, just because I could. I should get some buddies on who were there so that we could all remember it together. That'd probably be super funny. But yeah, this dude, like we were really good friends all the way up through high school, and then we didn't see each other senior year, and we were all turning 18, and we hadn't seen each other since high school, so I guess it was probably a couple years. And and I finally just tried to link up with him and like see what he was up to. I want to say it was one of our buddies. It was Brian's birthday, and he was turning 18. That's what the deal was. We were all gonna drive to Sacramento and go to a 18 and up titty bar, a juice bar, and and go see those things. But I tried to like wrangle this guy that I don't want to say his name, but ooh, that was a loud one. I don't know if you guys heard that, but fucking Zeus just cracked a fucking in the park homer, baby. Damn. So we were gonna go to the juice bar. Ryan just turned 18. Um, I get Scott to come hang out with us actually, which is pretty rare because none of us have seen him in like 2 years. And so I pick him up in my car, and I pick up my buddy Austin, and I pick up my buddy Ryan, and we're waiting for Donovan to get off work. And then, you know, and then all the monsters are there. But Scott doesn't know we have any plans to go to this juice bar, and he just thinks we're just hanging out with Ryan because it's his birthday. And so we're driving around town, and it's actually fun too. It's like, from what I remember, it was pretty fun because we hadn't seen each other in a while, so we had like a lot of stories to talk to each other about, and like just funny things that had happened. And it turns out that he was dating this girl that he worked with, and he also worked with his mom at a a dentist office or a fucking physical therapist or something. I don't know, something. They were like receptionists, I want to say, or like nurses or something. But yeah, it turns out he's dating this chick that he works with, who he met through his mom, and she's also like 10 years older than him, which I don't shame on numbers or anything like that. Um, like my girlfriend is 9 years younger than me, and we get along really good. But I'm just saying, you got like when you're dating an 18-year-old, you got to be ready for some 18-year-old antics. You know what I'm saying? Some tomfoolery. And so we pick up Donovan eventually, and then I get on the freeway, and Scott's like, "Where are we going?" And I didn't say anything, and I want to say nobody was saying anything. Like we just kind of all started like giggling a little bit, and we're starting to get out of town on the freeway. And Scott's like, "Dude, seriously, where are we going? I have to be home by like 5." Oh shit! I said his name. Damn it. Well, maybe I'll bleep that out. Maybe I won't. That is his name. Um, and he's freaking out. And Austin, Donovan, Brian, we're all laughing. And we're just turning the music up louder and ignoring him. He's like, "Dude, for reals, I have to be home." Like, it turns out his girlfriend was going through some emotional distress at the time, and they had like a really solid routine of him settling the house down and being ready for her when she got home. And I don't even fucking know what that means. Like making the bed probably and like having some snacks ready or something. I don't fucking know. Like I'm not very empathetic to that shit right now, and 18-year-old me was really unempathetic to that shit. So we just kept driving, driving, driving. I want to say we almost made it to like Truckee, which is about a half hour out of town if you're going real slow, and which my car was, and and he calls his girlfriend and tells her that we're kidnapping him. And then he calls his dad, and then is like, "They want to talk to you." Like, tries to put us on the phone with them. And I want to say I got on the phone with the girlfriend and was extremely disrespectful, probably. I honestly don't remember what I said, but oh man, I got to get like Ryan and Austin come tell the story with me. Anywho, uh, we, we keep driving, and then he started crying, and it was like getting to this really uncool level of sadness that he was experiencing. Jesus Christ, it's raining. And and so we drove him back home, but we were total dicks the whole way back and just like punked on him the whole time. And we drove him like all the way back home and dropped him off. And I want to say we dropped him off in a hurry too, because we were like afraid his dad was gonna come out and fucking whoop some ass. And they were a gun family too, so it was like, I don't know, you never know. And we dropped him off, and everybody's like, "We're still going, right?" So we drove all the way to fucking Sacramento, and I want to say I watched Donovan take a shit in a Target parking lot. And then we somehow find our way to Centerfold. Dude, it is raining so hard right now. Woo! Um, we find our way to Centerfolds and we get up and somehow I am the only fucking person, maybe Austin had one too, but I'm the only one with my ID. Like Donovan doesn't have his, Ryan doesn't have his, even though it's his goddamn birthday. And so we don't even get to go into Centerfold. We just like walk up and I don't know what we were thinking either. We were like, maybe we'll just walk up and they can tell we're 18 and they'll let us in. And that was not fucking happening at all. At all, at all. But, so I think we went to an Outback Steakhouse and got bloomin' onions and steaks. And just like spent all of our money on a fucking suburban ass meal and then drove back home in the middle of the night. And that was like our crazy story for a second. That story gets way crazier too because we did not stop fucking with my buddy who we kidnapped for a while after that. And then he eventually broke up with us as friends, was just like, I can't be friends with you guys anymore. And I don't know, when we were 18, we loved taking things too far, and we definitely took it too far. Way too far. But, you know, we don't talk anymore. Now we don't talk anymore. Um, I gotta get Ryan and Donovan and Austin to remember this story with me because it's fucking funny as fuck. And, I don't know, I had like a conspiracy theory for a long time about why he wouldn't talk to us. Like it wasn't really his decision. And even though we had done all these fucking mean things to him, there was like something else happening going on. And now that I'm older, I can see that we were just dickhead friends and we lost a friend from being too much of big dickheads. But, I thought it was a total conspiracy theory, back in the day. Man, I remember when I was young, everybody thought I was fucking crazy because I would tell people that killer whales were dolphins and not whales. And everybody was like, man, they're called killer whales, you stupid. You know? You're stupid. And I even knew I was right because like my mom used to buy us those zoo books when I was a kid. They were like little magazines that would come in the mail and just have like hell of facts about animals in them. And I used to read the shit out of those books. But I remember everybody treating me like I was fucking crazy when I would tell them that. And I just thought it was like interesting. And I don't know. Now that I'm older, I realize that's why I don't try to talk to people about, anything trippy or like conspiracy theories or anything like that. Because it's just like maybe they didn't get the zoo books yet, you know? Maybe they didn't get the zoo books